Hello and welcome to the JB&M Sports Fanatic channel. Thank you guys for coming through to join us here for Week 10, in which we're going to be discussing Week 10, and I'm joined here by a special guest. We call him JJ, and so I'll give him a second in a minute here to introduce himself, as well as where you guys can follow him out on social media. But I appreciate you guys so much for coming through. So JJ, go ahead and let them know where they can follow you at real quick.
What's up, guys? You guys can follow me on Instagram, JVelasquez530. And you can follow me on TikTok with JVelasquez135. And let's get to the picks already.
All right, let's go. So before we get into that, just want to ask you, what is your favorite NFL team? I see the Chiefs there, and so I got a feeling it's Kansas City.
Yeah, man. I've been a Chiefs fan since 2015, because originally I did not know any NFL team. I only knew the Ravens and Niners because my friends talked to me about that his team lost. So I was originally a Ravens fan, even though I had zero clue. I did not even know one player.
Gotcha.
So my dad was a Niners fan because of Joe Montana. And he watched him since he was 10, around my age. And they traded Joe Montana to the Chiefs, so my dad was he's going to be a Chiefs fan because of Joe Montana. So he's been watching him since 1990. And he always talks to me about all the heartbreaks and everything. And in 2015, I think we were facing the Steelers, or 2016, one of those years. And that was my first ever NFL game watching. And I just saw my dad in my grandpa's room watching the game, so I joined him. And I went for the Chiefs, and I watched them get beat by the Steelers just by field goals. And it was heartbreaking for me, and it was my first NFL game. I did not know anything. And I saw us complete the 2-point conversion, but it was called back from a holding call. We had one final chance, and it was incomplete, and I felt the heartbreak. I was damn. I couldn't sleep. My dad's every year, this is nothing new for me. I've seen worse. It was my first time, so I was I couldn't. I started crying. I was bro, I can't. So that's really when it started. And then my second actual football game watching was Super Bowl 50. And that was the Super Bowl party, and I was just into the game. And I was going for the Panthers because I was a Chiefs fan. I had to go against the Broncos, and I saw them lose, and I was
yeah. Right, that's tough luck, man. That's the first couple games, heartbreak after heartbreak. That's tough, man. Okay, perfect.
After that, it's been life, It's been winning more, but still a lot of heartbreaks.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I've got a couple more questions for you, but we'll go ahead and get started with the picks here first and go from there. All right, so first up here, the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. This will be Thursday Night Football here, so I'll be streaming that game live. But tell me, what are your thoughts on the Ravens and the Dolphins right now?
I think Tua is a really decent quarterback. I'll say that, but he's got to limit the turnovers. If you can do that, and if they can find a really good run game against this really good Baltimore defense, and try to contain Lamar and make him at least pass more, because the Dolphins have a really decent defense, but they have a lot of key players, but they don't know how to use them. They haven't been doing anything. Xavier Howard's non-existent. So if they can do that, the Dolphins could win, but I think Baltimore will win this.
When I look at this matchup, I remember a couple years ago, it's more than a couple years ago now, but I remember when the Dolphins were on the verge of possibly going winless, and they won one game that year. It was against the Baltimore Ravens and then upset. Now, with that being said, though, I don't think that's going to repeat. I mean, right now, we don't even know who's going to be quarterback, and honestly, it might just be Jacoby Brissett again. So I'm going to go Ravens to win this one. Final score being Baltimore 29, Dolphins 13. That's what I'm thinking.
I say Tua has a bad game, and they put Jacoby Brissett in, and Jacoby Brissett tries to come back. But I say Baltimore 31, Dolphins, I say 17.
Okay, 31-17. That's what he's got. So both of us got Baltimore there. All right. So next up is the Browns at the Patriots. And so obviously, me being a Patriots fan, it might sound biased, but I know that Nick Chubbs, he's on the COVID list. Obviously, Kareem Hunt, he's still on IR. So Dearness Johnson, yeah, he's the only running back they've got right now that's like not tested positive for COVID right now, knock on wood for him. And then Baker being injured, still playing through that injury. I like the Patriots at home. I think the Patriots win like 24-14.
I don't know, man. This looks like a really good matchup right here. I really am into Mac Jones. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks to evaluate and see because I don't like how he fell in the draft. I really thought the Niners should have picked him. But it's good that he fell to the Patriots because it's a perfect setting. But I don't know, man. I think Baker Mayfield without Odell, way better. He looks way better. The defense is keying in. Denzel Ward is really good. Miles Garrett is second quarterback. So I gotta say the Browns win it 21-14.
Okay, so
defensive game.
Oh yeah, I expect to see a lot of defense in this one. I saw how they played against Cincinnati. I'm really hoping that defense isn't able to repeat what they did against the Bengals because that was a pretty good Bengals offense as well. But Patriots are looking good right now, so we'll see. At home, they haven't been that good at home this year. I mean, they're undefeated on the road, but at home, they've only got like one win so far, I think.
I watched that Buccaneers game, wanting Mac Jones to beat Tom Brady, and I was so disappointed with Bill Belichick not going for it.
Yeah, that was painful. You talk about painful memories. That was painful right there.
I think y'all would have won if y'all would have won.
I agree. Let's see. But the third game here, the Buffalo Bills at the Jets. I'll let you go first with this one.
Is Mike White playing again?
Yeah, Mike White's going to be starting. They determined that he's going to be the starting quarterback in this game.
This could be an upset. That's one thing I can say. This could be an upset. You saw how last week Buffalo got destroyed. Not destroyed, but basically Josh Allen destroyed the other Josh Allen.
He was the kryptonite.
Mm-hmm. But I think the Buffalo Bills will bounce back and destroy the Jets. And Mike White won't be playing that good because it's a really good Bills defense, I cannot lie. After seeing that for myself, them destroy the Chiefs. So I gotta say Buffalo 27, Jets 3.
Ooh, 27-3. Okay, so he's saying that Mike White's about to go night-night. Like after this week, we won't be talking about Mike like that. Okay. I can see Buffalo, like now they're going to be really focused here. They just came off a huge upset. So when you lose a game like this, it gets your attention. It really does. So I can also see the Bills bouncing back, and I think the Bills win this one. Final score being Buffalo. I'm going to go Buffalo scores about I'm going to go 34 points. 34 points. I know that Mike's going to be watching this as well. So, yeah, Mike, I'm going to give you guys 34 points. I'm going to say the Jets get about no more than 13. So I'm going to go 34-13 here. I think the Buffalo Bills, this is an opportunity for them to go out there and reestablish themselves.
Okay. My boy scored a little bit.
All right. But, hey, you just mentioned the Jaguars. They're going to be on the road at the Colts. What do you see happening in this one?
I think the Colts put him in the place. I think Carson Wentz and Michael Pittman, that connection, and Jonathan Taylor really popping off now for fantasy owners. And I say everyone struggles against that defense. The Colts defense is also really good with Quiddy Pay, Forrest Buckner, that defensive line.
Yeah.
And I think the Colts offense just destroys them. And I say 21-7. I say that.
Okay, 21-7. All right. I'll go ahead and talk to the Jaguars first. From the Jaguars' perspective, that was a big win against Buffalo. Josh Allen, he went off. I mean, it's amazing how you play when you're inspired just because somebody else has the same name as you. That's amazing there. But with that being said, I mean, Indianapolis, they got off to a slow start because they played some tough teams early on. The Rams, Titans twice already. Those are some good teams right there that they played. I will say this: Jonathan Taylor is probably going to end up being the leading rusher simply because he's going to be the most durable running back this year. Now that Henry's out the way, and I think that's going to be huge. We're going to see Jonathan Taylor have a big day, I think. So if you're watching and you play fantasy football, I would probably start Jonathan Taylor this week. Him and Michael Pittman Jr. I'm expecting big games from them. Colts win this one. Final score being I'm going to go Colts get 31. Jaguars will put up like 20 points in this one. 31-20. So. Oh, yeah. It'll be a game till late. All right. So while my mouse struggles to – there we go. All right. So I know this was your team here, so I'll go first and I'll hand it over to you. All right. So the Chiefs versus the Raiders. This is a huge game right here because I feel like, honestly, whoever wins this game right here, I feel like that's probably who's going to have my odds-on favorites to win the division. I haven't forgotten about the Chargers right now. They're still in it as well. But if the Chiefs can win this game right here, they got a couple wins. May not have been Chiefs football from what we've seen in the past, but this is an opportunity to right the ship right here. You win this game down there in Las Vegas, that will change the mindsets around the league right now. Just like Pittsburgh last week, this past week against the Chicago Bears. That was a big win for them because they put them at 5-3. This is a great opportunity for the Chiefs, and this is a must-win if you're Kansas City at this point. The division's too close. The AFC's too close. You really want to win this game right here. So with that being said, though, going down to the Raiders, I think that Deshaun Jackson's going to have a small impact in this one, but I think Kansas City ultimately wins this one with the final score being Kansas City 24, Raiders 23. Your turn.
This is the game I'm very nervous for. It's a Raider week, how we call it. And this is always the scariest week because you go to school after, if you keep losing, go to school, it's game over. You'll be told a lot of stuff. But both teams have a lot of talent. Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Anthony Edwards, now Deshaun Jackson in the Raiders, and Josh Jacobs, and Kenyon Drake. They have a lot of weapons. And the Chiefs' defense has improved a lot. But if you look at the past, the Chiefs' defense always struggles against this team, even though sometimes we blow them out. Like last year in Las Vegas, it was a battle to the end with 30 seconds left, and both defenses were struggling against these teams. But the Chiefs' offense, comes from a fan perspective, has been very disappointing. Patrick Mahomes is playing mediocre, and I'm still rooting for him. He's good, but I'm a little bit disappointed, so I can't say anything about him because he brought us the Super Bowl. But if he plays good in this game, and if we establish the run,
that's important.
Because if we run the ball with Darrell Williams and Derek Gore, two very talented running backs, we could penetrate the defense and maybe score a couple times and use the play action and pass it and utilize all our other talents that we have on our team, like Josh Gordon, DeMarcus Robinson, Byron Pringle, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill. But I think the Raiders defense will be keying in on both Tyreek and Kelce, so we gotta swing it to the other guys like Mecole Hardman, that's also having a lot of fumbling problems. That's one thing that always scares me when I watch the game and they give it to Mecole Hardman. I'm always like, hold on to the ball. So you gotta key in and stop the turnovers from happening. And Mahomes gotta take care of the football and be smart with it. But I gotta say, my team, a little bit biased, but I say it'll be a close game to the end. I say we only win by a field goal, so it's 24-27.
Okay, nice. I will say one more thing. We talked about last year, this matchup. There was one big difference in last year's matchup. I remember that was the game specifically that I think that Henry Ruggs had like his best game, but obviously no Henry Ruggs this time around.
It was Henry Ruggs. It was basically Nelson Aguilar. It was at his breakout game. He went over 150 yards on us and just destroyed it. And Darren Waller also had a huge game. But ultimately, somehow, Travis Kelce had a way better game. I remember that. And we utilized all our other talents. Like Tyreek Hill, I think he had like 4 catches for at least 50 yards, and Travis Kelce had like over 100 and something yards and like a touchdown. But this is gonna be very difficult. And Sunday night, so and fans are back, so that's gonna keep in another factor. Because last year we had no fans, so you could hear everything that's going on in the field.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. I'll be streaming that one for sure. But this one right here that we're going to talk about here, the Saints and the Titans, for me, it's all about both of these defenses. We saw what Tennessee did against the Rams last week, and we also saw 2 weeks ago what the Saints did to the Buccaneers. So the two teams, good defenses, and dealing with key injuries. No Jameis Winston for the Saints, and then for the Titans, obviously no Derrick Henry. So I'll let you pick first who you got in that one.
I got Tennessee. They're hot right now. And playing at home and seeing that Ryan Tannehill is literally like breaking out without Derrick Henry, and showing that they don't need Derrick Henry to win. They're playing with a 36-year-old Adrian Peterson. And they're still winning. So I say, and the Saints are really good, but I mean, Trevor Siemian, he had a season that he got 18, man. And I don't think he's gotten enough talent like Jameis Winston to beat this good of a team. And how the Titans' defensive line is really good compared to the Saints, even though the Saints got, I forgot his name.
Alvin Kamara?
No, the defensive line.
For the defensive line, what is that guy's name? I can't think of his name right now either.
Marcus Davenport, and then they got his name is I forgot. Camson. I forgot his name.
Isn't it Cam Cameron, or it's been a minute since I looked at the Saints roster on defense.
So Cameron Jordan.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking Cam Cameron for Cameron Jordan. Yeah. All right. There we go.
So I say Titans 21, Saints 14.
I'm thinking this game right here is going to be a close one as well. I'm going to go ahead and say the Titans win this one. Final score being Titans 24, Saints 21. I think 24-21 by 3 points here, Tennessee.
This is a big defensive game.
All right, now one game that I'm not entirely, and I'll go first with this one. I don't think this is going to be really all that close. The Detroit Lions at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think Pittsburgh's going to win this one, final score being maybe like 34. I'll be nice and give Detroit 17 points. They've shown sometimes that they'll be extremely aggressive when they're going against a good team. So I'll go Pittsburgh to win that one.
I'm going to take a different route from you. I'm a believer in the Lions.
Oh!
And they get their first win on the road against a Pittsburgh team whose Big Ben is still struggling to get the ball over 20 yards. So if they just key in on stopping Najee Harris and put pressure on Big Ben, I think they'll pull out the win. So I say, and Jared Goff needs to perform good and hit his targets and run the ball with DeAndre Swift and the other running back in front of me. But
Jamal Williams?
Jamal Williams. So I say Lions 24, Pittsburgh 17.
Now that would be an upset. But hey, after what we saw week 9, anything is possible. Anything. All right.
Any given Sunday.
All right, so here this one I think will be a good one. It could be a high-scoring game, and for the sake of my fantasy football team, I'm hoping that it is a good one. The Vikings at the Chargers. I'll let you go first with that one.
Ooh. They're two very good teams.
Yeah, and this is under the impression that Dalvin Cook will be playing on Sunday.
All right. So if he's playing, even though they're my rival, I still gotta go with the Chargers. Justin Herbert is back on track, and
Oh yeah.
Austin Eckler is doing really good. They're running the ball. They're getting Keenan Allen more involved, but using less of Mike Williams, even though Mike Williams is a very good jump ball receiver. In my opinion, he's the best jump ball receiver because he's tall and he has great hands. But I gotta say, the Vikings, their defense is really good. The key matchup is Everson Griffin versus Sean Slater.
Oh yes.
That's the key matchup right there. If Everson Griffin can beat Sean Slater and get to Justin Herbert, the Vikings will win. And just the Vikings offense got to perform well against this stout Chargers defense, and with Joey Bosa and all the other great talents, Dylan James. But I gotta say, the Chargers offense is too much, and I gotta go with the Chargers winning at home, 21-7.
Okay, 21-7. Okay. I'll say this. The Vikings are probably one of the hardest and most frustrating teams to try to grade week by week. We know the talent's there, but kind of like how Dalvin Cook hasn't really looked like Dalvin Cook like 100% this year. Same for this Vikings team. I mean, they'll have moments, obviously, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, those guys get going, but I feel like the consistency just has not been there this season. One week they look like they should win. The next week they do win. The next week they lose like 2 straight. You never know what you get with the Vikings. That's why they're 3-5 right now. But the Chargers, I mean, the offense is looking good again. And that was great for my fantasy football team because I had started Justin Herbert. I needed one more touchdown pass from him or either for him to target Mike Williams again. I need Mike Williams to get going. So if by chance he happens to see this video somehow, throw the ball to Mike Williams more. I need that. But, yeah, in this one, I got to go with the Bolts in this one as well. But I'm thinking it's going to be final score of Chargers 32, Vikings 27. So at least I'm hoping that's what happens. A high-scoring game. Kind of like how the Eagles pushed them in that one, but ultimately Chargers win. All right, there we go. All right, so speaking of the Eagles on the road at the Broncos, just looking at this matchup on paper, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, you know what? This is actually a good matchup right there. It honestly is. I mean, record-wise, throw that out the window, but you put them on the field, this is going to be a nice competitive matchup. So I'll let you go first with this one.
Two teams that you really don't know, like, if they're going to perform good or not. They're very on and off. But we saw last week how both of these teams did better than everyone expected them to. Like, we saw the Broncos blow out the Cowboys. It was just embarrassing.
Yep.
And I was like wanting them to lose, but I was like, okay, they win. We're still above them. But seeing it from the Eagles' perspective, the Eagles also did better than what they thought they would be doing. So, if Jalen Hurts could find Devontae Smith and utilize the run with Jordan Howard and the other running back.
Yeah, Brian Scott.
Yeah, Byron Scott. If they could use all of those guys and get a good tempo, I think they'll pull it out. But the Broncos, man, something about them. Teddy Bridgewater, two gloves. And his targets with Jerry Jeudy, Coleman Sutton, P.J. Walker, and K.J. Hamler. And the tight end Noah Fant coming back. I think it'd be too much for them. And I think they're just going to win it here. I'm going to say final score 44-31.
44-31. Okay. That's a lot of points there. I like that. All right. So now for me, I'm thinking I was impressed with what the Broncos did because I did not see that coming out the way that they came out there. Obviously, losing Von Miller as well. They came out playing inspired football. And the Cowboys, they just look flat. Like I'm talking about like a soda that has no bubble to it. It just came out looking flat. And that's the same Broncos team that when I expected them to do good against the Browns, being without, Nick Chubb's, Kareem Hunt, I was thinking, oh, the Broncos defense should dominate, and they didn't dominate that one, so it's kind of tricky. Now, these Eagles as well, I've seen the Eagles put up a fight, I've seen them put up a fight. Just what type of production can we expect from Jalen Hurts, and how often will he be able to find Devontae Smith in this one against the Broncos' tough defense? I'm going to go ahead and pick the Eagles here. I know on the road at the Broncos probably, I think, should be favored in that one, but I've got the Eagles winning, final score being Eagles 28, Broncos 22. And so, I mean, the defense has the potential, as we saw last week, but can they consistently do it each and every week? Has not been the case this season, and I still remember visually what the Browns did to them on the ground. And so I think the Eagles can do some damage scrambling as well. Scrambling, running the ball. They finally are running the ball now. It's funny how Miles Sanders leaves, and now all of a sudden they can run the ball. So I'm going to go Eagles on this one. Just as soon as my mouse. There we go. All right, so the next one, I'll go first and make my pick first with this one. Falcons on the road at the Cowboys. They just beat the Saints at the Saints. That was a little bit of a surprise, even though it was with Trevor Siemian. I didn't think the Falcons were going to win. It looked like for a second they were going to go back to old habits and lose a close one, but they did not. They were able to win. Kyle Pitts has been coming along nicely as of late. Obviously, no Calvin Ridley. Certainly understand his situation, but I mean, yeah. But the Cowboys, though, coming off that loss that they had against the Broncos, that they've been humbled by that. They're going to come out. Micah Parsons, he's going to be making plays left and right on defense. I'm going to the Cowboys win this one at home. Final score being, I feel like it's going to be somewhat close. So I'm going to say Cowboys win. Final score being 29-27. I think the Falcons give them a challenge, but they win.
Dak Prescott. He leads them to a victory. He bounces back from his horrible loss against the Broncos. But
oh yeah.
Who I think if the Falcons could just do what they did last week, but move on it and not barely win. And like Mike Davis has been disappointing. He's been very disappointing.
Yeah.
Outproducted by the 32-year-old Cordell Patterson.
Oh yeah.
And I still don't start him, and I'm dumb, I still don't start him. Scoring 18 points per game for me, and I still haven't started him.
Wow.
I'm starting Nick Chubb or Henderson or Josh Jacobs, or even Mike Evans in the flex spot. But I think I'm going with you again. The Cowboys, they got to bounce back. I think the Cowboys winning it. I say 36-21.
Okay, 36-21. Okay. Nice. All right, so this next one here, Buccaneers on the road at the Washington football team. I'll go ahead and go first with this one as well. Tom Brady coming off a bye week. Tom Brady coming off a loss 2 weeks ago. Tom Brady's not going to be happy. Tom Brady's going against a team that cannot move the football right now, and I'm questioning for fantasy football purposes if I should even start the Washington football team running back. All of a sudden, I forgot his name real quick. But who?
I forgot. AJ Gibson?
That's right, Antonio Gibson. That's right. Appreciate it. Yeah. Can't believe I forgot his name there. But yeah, I mean, I've had this man on my fantasy football team out of pure desperation. Both him and Damian Harris have been my 1 and 2 back. Yeah, definitely not gonna let that happen again in next year's draft. Best believe that. But yeah, I had big hope. I had high hopes for him. I honestly thought that him. Of course, when I saw they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, I thought that was going to be working out for them. I had originally picked the Washington football team to win the division. I was dead wrong. Gotta apologize to Mike when he sees this. I was dead wrong about the Washington football team. He was right about the Cowboys. Like I'll admit that part right now because they're at the bottom, basically right now in the division. So that's not a good look, and it's not getting better. That being said, though, I think Tampa Bay goes out there and destroys them. Final score being Buccaneers 47, Washington football team 10, 47-10. It gets ugly.
Ooh. Well, what I said is I just really want Tom Brady to look for Mike Evans more.
That is true.
Mike Evans is so inconsistent in my team, and I haven't started every week, and I haven't started him again. And if the Buccaneers can improve and not do what they did 2 weeks ago, and just get completely pummeled on the road, they'll beat this sorry Washington football team. Even though the defense has downgraded so much, even though they barely lost any games. Like they don't look the same. So if the Buccaneers could just do what they always do, and that play amazing, like Tom Brady do what he does,
Yep.
they're gonna destroy them. So I say final score 37, Washington 3.
Okay. So we're both predicting a big. Watch this be the one game the Washington football team actually shows up for. Now watch. All right, so next up, and I'll let you go first with the pick here, but the Carolina Panthers on the road. Sam Darnold, he's going to be out, I think they said 3 to 6 weeks or 4 to 6 weeks, something like that. So, yeah, P.J. Walker's going to be starting this week. If he plays bad, I'm fully expecting for Matt Barkley, who they just signed to the practice squad, to be the quarterback moving forward. But this is really P.J.'s one shot, I feel.
But is Kyler Murray playing?
Kyler Murray, he should be playing this one. I know he didn't practice, but the expectation right now is that he should be playing in this game. Of course, we don't know 100%, but if I had to guess, he would be playing against the Carolina Panthers. Now, I don't know about DeAndre Hopkins, though.
By thinking that Kyler Murray is going to be playing and seeing what they did last week, I think there's going to be a little bit of an upset and say that the Carolina Panthers win this somehow.
Ooh.
And P.J. Walker somehow becomes the Mike White of this team.
Ooh, I would be impressed.
And actually looks for Robbie Anderson and all his other targets. And seeing that Christian McCaffrey's back gives him another spark right there. But on the other hand, the Cardinals are coming back a big win against the Niners, showing them with literally just one guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think James Conner's not going to have a big game like he did last game, but he still has a little bit of impact. And Kyler Murray, if he plays, he will a little bit, but I just think what the Panthers did last week and how they have Stephon Gilmore play, they probably locked down the primary receiver. But I think the Carolina defense with all those talents and the offense, so just stick to the run and mix in a little bit of passing and read option plays. But P.J. Walker, he's like another version of Teddy Bridgewater. So I say the Panthers win this in a close game, 17-14.
Okay, 17-14, Panthers with the upset. Okay, I like it. Got to be bold. That's wonderful. All right, so I'm going to take the more conventional route in this one. Seeing Arizona win without their starting quarterback, without their wide receiver, starting running back played one play and then got hurt, and they were still able to dominate the 49ers. The 49ers are a team that right now, if they had to play the Panthers, given how bad quarterback production has been for the Carolina Panthers, I would probably, and this is a very questionable, probably give that head to the Niners. But with that being said, though, at Arizona as well, I think the Cardinals win this one. If Kyler Murray plays, final score is going to be 27-6 over the Panthers. If Colt McCoy ends up playing, then I will go 16-9 if Colt McCoy plays. So I mean P.J. Walker, I think he's going to go out there and he's going to play so bad that Matt Barkley's going to look like a franchise quarterback next week when he gets to start. So I'm thinking he's about to go out there and make some mistakes, I'm thinking. I mean, I love me some P.J. Walker. You can ask the Sports Blitz. I'm always like, it's P.J. time. But when it's really P.J. time, it's panic time. So absolutely. I got the Cardinals winning this one.
All right.
All right, so I'll let you go first with this pick, but this is the Seahawks, and the Seahawks should have Russell Wilson back. Should have him back. And so, and then versus Green Bay Packers. Who knows what Aaron Rodgers is going to be doing?
Yeah, so if Aaron Rodgers comes back on Saturday, he's not playing Sunday, so thinking that Aaron Rodgers doesn't play this week. Oh, I think Jordan Love finally shows what he's worth. I think
Ooh.
Jordan Love finally does something against this Seahawks team that hasn't still found its identity in the league and in their division. They're just barely under the 49ers. I mean, they're over, no. They're over the 49ers, and they beat them earlier in the year with Russell Wilson.
Yep.
But Russell Wilson coming back after an injury, after missing his first game ever, I think he'll take his loss. I think he'll lose to the Green Bay Packers because he needs to used to back to being used to giving it to DK and them because what happened at the beginning of the year is all Tyler Lockett.
Yes, that drove me crazy as a fantasy football owner.
And and now the offense has just went from a climax all the way down. And
Yep.
I think they'll do good in this game. I'm not gonna lie, I think they'll do good. But the defense is still questionable. It's very questionable. Paying Jamal Adams all that money and still can't get an interception.
Right.
And I think the Packers defense is really good. Seeing how they did to it, they the teams last week, how good they were playing, and Jordan Love starting and maybe having Odell. Let's see what happens. But
Let's see.
I think Jordan Love has a breakout game, and fantasy owners will hate not having him because my friend gave him a chance and he disappointed him.
Yes.
But if fantasy owners start him this week, they should because I think that the Packers will win 40-10 and a very offensive breakout by Jordan Love and giving it to all sorts of wide receivers: Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, and A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones. So start your Packers players this week.
Wow, you heard it here first, guys. I mean, you heard it. If you don't remember, just rewind the video to the beginning if you want to shout out to him after the game and whatnot and be like, either thanks for the advice or Roger set me up. Either or. Definitely let him know. But no, but what if Aaron Rodgers does somehow end up playing though? What would your score be for that one, just in case?
If Aaron Rodgers, it'll be the same game, but I think it will be less of like a offensive showdown because Aaron Rodgers coming back. So I think the bench, the two running backs, and then A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, and just have Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams starting because that would just be the breakout game again. So instead of me saying, "Oh, get all the Packers players," I just say, "Just get Devontae and Aaron Rodgers." So I'll just say 27-21. It'll be a close game with Aaron Rodgers there because Aaron Rodgers versus Russell Wilson, something about that is always a very close game. Seeing Russell Wilson versus Jordan Love, nobody knows what can happen. Jordan Love might have the key to that defense and throw all over them.
Okay.
Because everyone's criticizing him.
That is true. And I tell you what, that was a bold swing right there. I like it. Now, for my pick here, Seahawks, having Russell Wilson back, it's one of those love-hate type of relationships for me. I love it for the Seahawks. I hate it for DK Metcalf and my fantasy football team because I already know what that means, Lockett City all over again. I don't know what it is. I mean, you would think that him and Lockett, that they've been homeboys since birth. You would think so the way he's targeting this man. I wondered if maybe DK Metcalf, I don't know, did he say something about Sierra? I don't know. Sometimes he's just not even looking his direction, it feels like. And I'm like, dude, you've got an amazing receiver. I would love to have him on my Patriots. If you don't target this man. But with that being said, though, for the Green Bay Packers, though, if Aaron Rodgers goes out there and suits up, and that's a big if, I got the Packers winning 27-24 over the Seahawks. Now, if Jordan Love goes out there, Jordan, where is the love is going to be the question because it's going to turn bad because the Seahawks not only are getting Wilson back, they're getting Chris Carson back as well in the backfield. So the band's getting together and all like that. And if there's one thing that I have noticed when it comes to, matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and swap my pick. Matter of fact, I just remembered this one detail that changes it for me. Aaron Rodgers coming back, from having COVID. I remember when Cam Newton was having a great season, and then he came back from having COVID. He looked a shell of himself. Now, I don't know if Aaron, is going to end up having the same thing happen to him, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and switch my pick, y'all. Seahawks win. I'm going to go 28-16 because it might take me a couple weeks to get going. But if Jordan Love is playing, though, Seahawks will win this one. Final score being 33. I'm going to go 33-14 and all like that. Jordan Love needs to develop that confidence right now, and it's not going to happen overnight. And so he's just like one of those rookie quarterbacks, and it took Justin Fields some time to get going. It took Trey Lance. He still hasn't got going yet. It took Mac Jones a couple games. Jordan Love needs to play a couple games and some real action before he can start to show what he can do. And it's not going to happen this game. They're going to be begging Rodgers to come back after this. So
this is an important matchup right here.
There we go. And I'm going to let you go first with this one. The Rams at the Niners. Monday Night Football.
My friend's a Niner fan. We always talk about football. And he told me to start Deebo Samuel, even though I'm not starting him. But seeing from the history, the Rams always lose to the Niners. I don't know what's up with it. Kyle Shanahan always has the Rams number. Always beats Sean McVay. But seeing how they're playing right now, the defense is bad. The offense is bad. They gotta utilize Kittle and Ayuk more, even though we saw last game that they basically popped off, even though Ayuk fumbled twice.
Yep.
But something about how the LA Rams have they lost to two teams you never think they'll lose to. Like the Titans and who else did they lose to?
Cardinals.
And the Cardinals. Everyone thought those would be the two best games. But no, the Rams did not show up. And it's on Sunday night. And this is Monday night.
Ooh.
And it's the division rival, Niners. And let's see if Jimmy G and the Niners offense come out firing or running the ball with Elijah Mitchell, and the Rams can't keep up. And Josh Norman, he's been playing atrocious. I don't know why they signed him. Pick or Patrick, I don't know why they signed him. They should be starting the rookies, how my friend says. They should be starting the rookies to look more promising.
Yeah.
But the Niners offense against the Rams always somehow shocks them. And seeing how the Niners defense, how they're playing, the defensive line, the linebacker core, but the secondary is atrocious. So it's very interesting. I don't know who to choose. The Rams' offense is always something's always new with them. Cooper Kupp, it's always Cooper Kupp. But Darrell Henderson, I started him expecting him a big game. Nothing. Anything. And Von Miller and Aaron Donald, they didn't do anything against the Titans. I don't know what was up with them. They were supposed to be the super team of the league. So I think all that hype dwindles down. And I think the Niners upset the Rams in a very close game. Very close game. I say 31-28.
Ooh, I like it. And you know what? In years past, I have noticed that too. I mean, heck, I can go all the way back to when the 49ers had drafted Alex Smith, his rookie year. They had the first overall pick, the same year that Aaron Rodgers was drafted later on by the Packers. And I remember everybody was saying Aaron Rodgers was the best quarterback, but then they flipped it a couple weeks prior to the draft and said it was Alex Smith. And so then Alex Smith ended up going to the 49ers. And even that year when they were horrible, they still could beat the Rams. And they've consistently been able to beat the Rams. But that was then. This Rams team right now, I know they didn't win against Tennessee Titans, but Tennessee's been on a mean streak as of late. They beat a team. They're the reason why Buffalo's slumping right now, okay? They took the tires from up under Buffalo's vehicle and slowed them down, all right? Tennessee is playing inspired football right now, so I'm not going to hold that against them. The Cardinals, they should not have lost to the Packers, but A.J. Green went out there and he decided that he's going to go have speed out there, and that's what happens when you go have speed out there. But that being said, though, I got the Rams winning this one, and they just picked up a wide receiver by the name of Josh Reynolds. I think they had him before. He was with the Titans. They brought him back, and obviously Von Miller. This should be the game that he gets to suit up for his first time. He saw what his Broncos did out there without him. He wants to say, hey, guys, don't forget about me. I'm still elite. I wasn't the problem there. So he's going to come out there, be inspired. I think that they win this game, final score being Rams. I'm going to go to Rams score 36. 49ers end up getting, I'll give them about 17 points. So 36-17, Rams.
All right. You have no faith in the Niners, right?
Not in this matchup.
It's at Levi Stadium.
That's why I gave him 17. But yeah, I mean, it's an testament to the Rams this year. I think the Rams, especially coming off of their loss to the Titans, they're going to be focused here. Jalen Ramsey and company, they're going to be looking for a fight. So, looking forward to it. But yeah, that goes through our entire picks right now. Going to have just a few questions for you real quick before we wrap things up here to see where you stand at here. All right, so give me your right now, if this, like, from how teams have played thus far, who is your Super Bowl matchup right now?
This might be a little bit underrated. I said it during the season. I said it like a week ago, but I had so much faith in the Bengals. So I said Bengals, Buccaneers, Super Bowl, and the Bengals pull out an upset of the century and win against the Buccaneers, 31-21.
Hey.
And that's because I have so much faith in Joe Burrow and that offense. Of just like every year I have this quarterback's in the good league. Like 2 years ago it was Joe Burrow. This year is Mac Jones. So I either want the Bengals to go to the Super Bowl and beat the Buccaneers, or if not, I say Patriots, Buccaneers, Mac Jones beats Tom Brady and wins it against.
I would love that. That's been on my heart heavy this whole week. It just dawned on me. I said, you know what? There's a possibility. So I said, I'm not going to say it out loud because like right now it'll just be words and all like that. But I was like, if we can keep putting W's together, just week by week, just inch a little better. This kind of reminds me of the 2001 Patriots team that ended up beating the greatest show on turf, the Rams, back then in the Super Bowl. If we can just put together that kind of effort, we almost did it before. If we can get our hands on Brady in the Super Bowl, then we'll really get a Belichick versus Brady comparison right there on the biggest stage. Like that's all I was thinking. But as a fan, it's nice to dream. But if I had to pick right now, I would probably have to go Baltimore Ravens, assuming that they can actually show up in the playoffs this year. Because I've been saying Buffalo for the past, but right now I'd go Baltimore Ravens versus the Rams. Ravens versus the Rams. Now Tennessee's close, but I would need to know that Derrick Henry's going to be back in the playoffs in order for me to pick them. So yeah, Ravens and Rams.
Because like Jerry Jeudy, he was in his game, but somehow he returned quickly. Same thing with Carson Wentz, and you never know.
Yeah.
Technology.
You're right. Absolutely. Oh, Jerry Jeudy. Absolutely. Let's see. What's my next question? All right. So if you can have any quarterback on a team, say you're a GM and you're drafting to build a team, if you can draft any quarterback for a real NFL franchise to start off your franchise with, which quarterback would you take?
Whether it's all time on Madden. That's like right now.
Right now.
Start off my team.
For so long, that answer was easy. It would just be Patrick Mahomes for so long. Has that changed?
It does. I would say Patrick Mahomes, but that's my biased version. But for some reason, it clicked in my head. I would go with. This might be so shocking, but I'll go with Jordan Love, number one.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Can't
No,
front with that one. That is that is shocking right there. That is shocking right there. I mean,
Patrick Mahomes has all the talent and everything. I love him, everything. But like to start off my franchise, and I like want to like my franchise wants to like, stay quiet and like he's built up secretly. I would choose Jordan Love number one, and
okay,
he built around his talent.
okay. That's. I would have never guessed that. Like ever. You give me 32 tries, I would have failed every time. Like, okay, nice. I think for me, it would have came down to either Josh
Josh Allen,
Allen
all type of name.
or Lamar Jackson.
This is not Mahomes.
And so the thing is though, for Mahomes, I mean, I've seen Lamar Jackson without a Tyreek Hill or without a Travis Kelsey. I'm not so sure if I'll be able to draft those guys to help him out. And if he's struggling right now with those guys, I don't know how he would look without those guys. And so that is my reasoning for that. I view him along this like it's like I was telling people I was like I would not compare Mahomes to Brady. I feel like a better comparison is Mahomes to Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning, when he was in the league, he had Marvin Harrison, Hall of Famer. He had Dallas Clark. He had Reggie Wayne. He had Brandon Stokely. He had so many weapons. Then he went to Denver, had even more weapons. And so I feel like that's a closer comparison than Tom Brady, in which some years he really went out there with like, let's just say some less than capable receivers.
Jordan
So
every year.
and so, I mean, lately, yeah, but I'm talking about the early Brady years, like when he had guys like Rashay Cardwell. I mean, just Google Rashay Cardwell drop, and you'll see why Brady doesn't have one more ring. Because the man, yeah, he had them wide eyes, and the ball went right through his hand. Just, I remember I was heartbroken.
Dropped interception.
He dropped the reception that was going to get us the first down to beat the Colts, and Peyton Manning ended up winning against us that year. One of the few times that he did win. It was an excellent call. The defensive back wasn't even near him, and he just dropped it all by himself. A quick, simple pass that anybody can make. I was mad. That's why we went out and got Randy Moss after that. Bill Belichick said, no more. No more.
Just throw it up.
Exactly. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and end it up here. But thank you so much for joining me here. Really appreciate you for joining me here on this video, JJ. And so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But if there's any shout outs or anything that you want to give real quick before we end this one.
Nah, bro, shout out to you though. I hit you up and you were down to do this thing at the beginning. And I'm happy you gave me the opportunity to come out here and let my mind speak about football and my takes about what's going on right now and the pick-ems. And I'm just very glad that you let me on here.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate you. Absolutely. It won't be the last time. It won't be the last time. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here. But appreciate you for coming through. And yeah, and everybody, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this video. Make sure you leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, show some love and all like that. Definitely let us know in the comment section which picks do you agree with, your Super Bowl projections as well, and which quarterback you would draft to start off your franchise. You know, I know there's a lot of guys out there that would probably say a guy like Russell Wilson as well. Can't forget about him. Justin Herbert, you know, that's someone else that I probably forgot about that I probably should have mentioned. Justin Herbert, great option there. Many options. But yeah, thank you guys so much, and see you guys next time.